Mm-hmm. It's my fault. Mm-hmm. 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 Don't leave. It's my fault. TikTok. TikTok live. We on live with it. You made my earthquake. You made my earthquake. Don't. It's my fault. Don't. It's my fault. What up, what up? What up, though? I'm gonna be king of the pirates. We ain't finna do shit, twin. We ain't finna do Nathan. Nathan hurts. I keep leaving my room. I keep forgetting. You need some sleep? I do sleep. I be sleeping during the day. But TikTok it be dry during the day. So I'd rather be up late at night anyways. Cause I get all the people from like Cali and Texas. That's what my kind of people at, you know? They be showing love. You know what I'm saying? Just a little bit of that, and I just don't go to sleep for it. Is that a rug? Yeah. Sure is. I might need to finally watch Boruto because I kind of miss Naruto. And I'm not like a fan for rewatching something when I already know everything that's going on. Hey, appreciate all the likes, y'all. I definitely kind of miss it.
The strongest form of humanity. Seraphim's powers.
How much for a Gabby dollhouse? DM me on Instagram. We'll get you taken care of. Kira Cruz. Tank, what up, what up?
I can't take control until you're unconscious.
We just gotta see it. It just depends on how big it is and colors and a whole bunch of stuff. Telling a lot of patience. Yeah. Sugar, what's up? Kay, what's up, mommy? Appreciate the follow, y'all. Where everybody tapping in from? Where y'all folks at? Shane, appreciate the follow. Appreciate all the likes, y'all. Appreciate the likes. How big is that you're doing? Appreciate the rose, keys. And I'm blind. Oh, this one's like 7 feet. 7 feet, 8 feet. One of them.
You're starting to imagine how strong they'll be once they grow up.
Tell me the truth. What is that power? And what the hell is that Jinbei thing doing with it?
Hendo.
That looks like the
Preach.
switch for today.
Preach the final, man. Appreciate that.
It's his. My hard-boiled brother from another mother. Senor Pink has that power. I'd recognize it anywhere. It's impossible for there to be two of the same devil fruit. So that means my bro must have died. My poor bro. But he's not dead. He's just been held down. Wait, he's alive? For real? Oh man, you really had me scared for a second.
Yo, what the fuck? That's sick. Appreciate that.
Does that mean you found
Keys, appreciate the rose again. It's good. Thinking. Appreciate the follow. Destiny, thank you for the follow.
But it only works. Know it. Don't you know anything about Seagull's smiling script?
Yeah, you can go straight to hell.
Smiles are successful.
They only work 1 time out of 10. Those who are granted power never stop smiling or laughing. They can't even.
How long did this take you to tuft? The tuft probably like 10 hours. 10 to 15 hours probably. All the color changes and all that shit. I think I worked on it about 3 days. I think I did about 5 hours each day. Or I might have did 4 days and I did like 2 hours one day. Like I got a lot done one day and then kind of chilled one day and only did like 2-3 hours. I think it took me about 15 hours. But honestly, don't know. That's dope. Appreciate it. Carmen, thank you for following. Dollface, appreciate that. Carmen. Jones, what's up? How much would you price that at? It's not for sale, but honestly, probably like $1,500. Q, what up? Oh, appreciate the follow.
Stay back! This isn't over yet.
How y'all doing this morning?
I don't know. And he's not my friend. What a shame. Guess you're a lone traitor.
How would I go about ordering something? DM me on Instagram, and I'll get back to you. We'll get you taken care of. That's a lot of fighting, bro.
Man, the Seraphim's powers.
Guaranteed. Thank you for the share. Cool. Yep. So just hit me and we'll get to you. You get bored, bro, doing that for hours? Nah, that's why I'm watching TV. I usually watch podcasts and all type of shit. So the good thing about it is you can get a lot of shows done, a lot of movies done, a lot of shit done while you multitask. So I watch a lot of shit. How long does something like that take? Usually a couple weeks. In reality, just a couple days, but the amount of time, that shit could be like 50 hours. It just depends on the design. It'd be a lot of time though. DJ, what's up? Is that a rug? Yes. I've done stuff that took me like 200 hours. Shit, the next run I gotta do, that shit probably gonna take me like around that 200, 300 hours for real. It's a lot of shit to do. That's still fast. Yeah, I mean, if you can put the time to it, then it don't take long, you know? It just all depends, like, so if it's already like rushed being worked on, then obviously that's gonna make the time longer. But it just all depends on what's going on. I just always said a couple weeks. Thank you for opening my eyes on May right before. Nice, nice, nice. Understandable. Yeah. Anyway, we try to take care of everybody, you know. Make sure everybody leave happy. How do I get the rug? This one? Can't get this one.
Hurry up and die. I can't take control until you're unconscious.
You should make these for headboards. Beans, what's up? Living, what's up? Rugrat. Whoa. Whoa. Whoa, yes. What do you mean make these for headboards? Like for a bed?
I'm sure you thought you had a fine strategy. Running home to the sheriff. But all you did was put a nail in your own coffin.
It's insane. Appreciate it. Appreciate that for sure. Delta, what's up? I need. What you need, man?
Hurry, movie. If we want to save this girl's life, then we have to get the mega punch out immediately.
Damn, I can't watch this shit right now. There's too much going on. Said children's bedroom, you make a killer attachment to headboard. Post. Interesting. Interesting. Where do you get your yarn from? I order it. Michael's, Joann's, Walmart. I don't know for myself how much. Swifty, DM me on Instagram. Just let me know what you're trying to get. We'll figure it out. This episode is like too much going on. I can't really. I'm about to come back to this. Like they over here just like fighting. It's like really over here fighting. What do I want to watch? Star Talk. Black hole time travel. Yes. I want to watch some nerd shit. I love it. Appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Repairs and access roadside
That carpet is hammy.
Here's an
You fucking with it?
predicting gravitational waves, laying the foundation for a laser, and 100 years later, his gravitational waves are found with lasers. Einstein's kind of smart.
I thought it was smart as shit.
Gravitational waves until we succeeded. It was 50 years. Some things take a long time. We do build on each other. None of them by themselves are smart enough. This Nobel Prize really belongs to 1,000 people. If I can see farther than others, it's because I've stood on the shoulders of giants who have come before me. And that's the nature of science. It's very promising, but it's going to continue on into the next generation before the ultimate success is found.
Good for you, Brucey. Hey, I appreciate that, man. You're truly talented. That rug is freaking amazing.
This is Star
Yeah, it's coming up. It's coming out good.
Neil deGrasse Tyson, your personal astrophysicist, and today we're featuring one of our one-on-one conversations. This time with Professor of Theoretical Physics, Kip Thorne. And Thorne, welcome to Star Talk. A pleasure to be with you, Neil. Oh my gosh, we are coming from your home office in Pasadena, California. A wonderful office. My son designed this part of the house and built it. My brother designed and built all the furniture. These are really useful people to have in the family. It's a wonderful family. They're the practical ones. I've actually known you for some time. Not that we were beer drinking buddies, but I think we've tried beers. In the Canary Islands. Yes, we did. Okay.
Amazing. Appreciate it.
Stand corrected.
Appreciate the share, dog.
But my
Oh,
first
shit.
exposure to you was you were one of the 3 authors of this book called
Details in the bottom eyes is unmatched.
And we used to joke,
Yeah.
of course, it was the only book where you would learn about
Yeah, for sure.
just by carrying it around. And I think we probably wrote it before.
And it's the only time throughout the show
Possibly.
where they did them like that.
You might think.
I think that's the first and last time they drew them like that.
The graduate level treatise.
It's literally like anime.
Basically, Einstein.
I mean, it's already anime style eyes, the way they draw the cartoons, but that's like literally to the T.
This is tough
Fire.
paperback this thick. But this has the exact proportions of what was then the Manhattan Yellow Pages.
Shit is gas.
So we
Amazing.
used to call
Kettle, what's up?
Just affectionately, may I add. It was brilliantly conceived because I don't know if you can notice on camera, there are tabs of different colors. There's white and black, and they
Humble.
represent 2
Thank you
different
for the follow.
paths through the book. One is sort of the elementary path, and one the more advanced path, except it all looked advanced to me at the time. So whose idea was this to come up with this book? Coming up with the book, I think it was sort of grew out of discussions that Charlie Misner, John Wheeler, my PhD advisor, and I had a few years after you got my PhD. Those are the 3 co-authors there. And so it sort of grew organically, and they... That's the best kind of project in the 1960s and early 1970s. Yes, I was born before the 60s. So, on here is Charlie Misner, was at the University of Maryland. Yes. And So my copy of this, I had you sign it, and then I spent a year teaching at the University of Maryland. I quickly went over to his office and had him sign it. But before then, I started out in graduate school at the University of Texas, where John Archibald Wheeler had they stole him from Princeton, I think, is where it's at, or lured him from Princeton, I think.
Yeah, inaccurate.
Hey, appreciate the follow.
And so I had all three of them sign it. In fact, John Wheeler's course that he taught in general relativity is where I met my wife.
Lay back up. Appreciate the lights. Alright, I guess I can't skip that. Okay. Appreciate the science of the matrix.
Wow. Yeah, she has a PhD in mathematical physics, so we met in relativity class. Just thought I'd say that. Was our, you have a lot of accolades, of course, including the Nobel Prize. Okay, but more importantly than
It's
that,
dope. It's
you were
amazing.
science
Wow, it's
advisor
beautiful.
on the film
Good
Interstellar.
morning. Morning.
I was more than science advisor.
What's up? What's up?
You were executive producer.
I was more than
Appreciate that.
producer. It grew out of a treatment.
Appreciate the share.
Opes, an ex-girlfriend of mine.
Oh,
And I
you're also a big producer of sci-fi films.
Yeah, she's a big producer of films of a wide variety. But Linda and I dated in 1979, 80. And she was too high-strung for me, and I was too dirty for her. We became close friends.
Wow.
And
Well, who knows that? Why did I know this? Why didn't no stop? Why didn't where would one learn this? We need a gossip, a physicist gossip column.
It was some years later, after Carl Sagan, who set us up on a blind date, by the way. That's how we met.
Okay.
And some years later, Linda called me up and said, "Would you like to brainstorm with me for a movie?" And we did. And that's how Interstellar was born.
So was that at the time?
It really was the creation of the Nolan brothers, because they took what we had given them, which was basically a structure, and a venue for the movie, The Warped Side of the Universe. And they ran with it and changed our story almost completely and made it into a great film. But all the seeds came out of Linda and me.
It's at the time, I mean, you're professor at Caltech, the Richard Feynman professor at Caltech, now emeritus. Caltech is a pretty high-level place. How was it viewed for you to say, guys, hold on, I'm going to make a movie now? How is that received by your colleagues?
I think they were all enthusiastic. Caltech is a different kind of a place than some other more stuffy university.
Oh, okay. I never hung out much at Caltech, so I couldn't judge the mood or the tone.
Yeah, no, look, we're on the edge of Hollywood. The Hollywood folks come over and, Big Bang Theory was based on Caltech.
Right, they didn't call it Caltech. What did they call it?
They did call it Caltech in the first few episodes.
Okay.
And then they stopped using the Caltech name because the shirts, that's Hollywood speak for the attorneys.
Oh, yeah, that's the shirts, yes.
The shirts got scared that they might do something on screen that the Caltech shirts wouldn't like, and the Caltech shirts might sue the Hollywood shirts.
Okay.
So they stopped using Caltech names.
And in the film, which I adored, what was it called? Real Genius?
Yeah.
Real Genius. They were at Pacific Tech. All right, that was where all the smart kids were. So, of course, Pasadena is in, I can't say foothills of Hollywood, but you have a proximal awareness of
Sora,
the
dope.
industry.
GG Network.
Science fiction matters.
Appreciate it. Are you just defining its color section?
Some of us love it.
I love it.
Or are you using the shadow technique when you outline it?
And so,
What you mean?
Interstellar.
Talking about when I'm making it? Like when I'm tufting it?
Many people,
Strawberry?
authentic
Are you
gravitational
just
physics
defining
for the
each
very
color
first time.
section? Or are you using the shadow
Interstellar was
technique when you
unlike
outline it?
almost any other film.
Talking about right now or when I made it?
In 2001 and in Contact.
Yeah, Carl Sagan's Contact.
Carl Sagan's Contact. And the point is that
right now. Right now, I'm basically just separating the yarn. So I'm basically like creating a bridge between each color. So like you know how you got kind of you know how, like Noah parted the Red Sea or whatever. Literally doing that between each color. Because it's kind of like this. Like you can see it right here. So right here in this part, you see how sloppy it looks, and when you move it, it's like it's not as detailed. But here, it's all 3D, and even if you move it, it still stays the same because it's all separated. Versus here, like look at this eye versus that one, if you can see it. Yeah. So you just detailing it, you know. Right. Yep. Appreciate it.
Why is there so much secrecy around this?
Yeah, so this like probably
Science.
the most important step that a lot of people either don't do at all, usually like when they get into it, or they just don't do it well. So it doesn't. Their rugs just don't come out looking good. I'm thinking about light direction. As far as what? So I'm thinking about light direction. Are you talking about like the shadows on the characters? Like how I got the shadows on it? Is that what you talking about? So like a painting? Nah, I wouldn't compare it to a painting. It's totally different. Like it's easy, honestly, but it's tedious. Like painting and drawing is a lot harder. It requires more skill. This is anybody can do it, but it definitely requires practice and a good teacher to help you understand step A through Z. So like if I show somebody how to do it right now and they pay attention and they ask questions, within like an hour they should be able to do it. Now drawing and painting and all that is more skill based, and that really just takes time. Oh my god, I want one. DM me on Instagram. Yeah, so it's easy. Easy.
Science was baked into that film from the very beginning because of the way it was born, and because of close collaboration I had with the Nolan brothers, and built in right from the very beginning, and baked in, and a science that in which the guideline that we work from is that nothing in the movie would violate well-established physical laws, and all the wild things would at least spring from science in some
As
manner.
any good science fiction story should be. But
Yeah.
there's not enough.
Well, there's nothing wrong with fantasy films, the Harry Potter style, for example. It's just a different genre.
By the way, that film, you you must have known. You said, okay, we're gonna have to help people out. Give a guy a break, okay? They're trying to see the movie. They're trying to follow what's going on. What the hell's happening? Why did the guy get old? Why is he younger than his mother? What's going on? And you upped and said, let's help a person
Yeah,
out.
well, I would put it a little differently. I saw it as a
I
superb
love
opportunity to
hectic.
use this film as
Yeah.
a motivator and to get people interested or intrigued in science, and then there would be a bridge to the science through this book.
Admit it, you created a gateway film.
Yes.
So the Science of Interstellar,
Yeah.
New York Times bestseller, Kid Thorne, with a foreword written by, of course, Christopher Nolan. And it was a spoiler alert. This book explains the fantastic climax and ending of Interstellar.
And so let me tell you how this issue came about. Chris said to me early on, I would like to make a film where the ending is as mysterious as the ending of 2001, A Space Odyssey.
That's a high bar.
That's a high bar, but he greatly admires Stanley Kubrick and that film. And so somewhat later on, as we were talking about the ending, and we had lots of conversations about the ending, he said, well, you can explain the ending in this book that you're planning to write.
So he volunteered you to write the book.
Well, no, I was already planning to write the book, but he identified that as the place where the ending will get explained. He was not going to
I appreciate it.
He would leave it mysterious.
You're amazing. Appreciate it. How much is this one? It's not for sale, okay?
Interviewed Christopher Nolan. If your
Go out.
archive
Go out. Appreciate it,
we've
follow.
got a
Yeah.
whole episode with
Shit started
Christopher
cracking a little
Nolan
bit.
even before Interstellar was produced. And as we know, so many of his movies, he plays with time in some kind of interesting way. If I remember correctly, he talks about how influential 2001: A Space Odyssey was to him back in 1968.
Kayla, appreciate the harmony. Thank you for follow. Paper out. What's down?
It's all day and
Appreciate that, big dog.
it's why all the businesses that keep this world turning choose advanced solutions in partnership from Comcast Business, powering more businesses than anyone. Powering possibilities.
Your father knows about saving money. Everything I'm wearing, I've had since boot camp.
And I just saved on my car insurance for driving safe with USAA.
Auto insurance that flexes with fit to fit. That's what we're made for.
So let me ask you just a couple of things about the
Dang, I
storyline.
love it.
And I have
Yeah, I'm really not trying to sell it.
with it.
I had a couple people offer,
I
but
know
I'm really
went public on this, but I figured
trying not to
I
put a
could
price on it
expand
for real.
some,
I'm really
so
trying to
that
stay
if I
away
have
from
an
selling
issue,
it.
it would be here and now.
Cause my last couple rugs that I made for myself, I put a price on it and people bought it. So
This can't be just all
really trying not
okay,
to.
softball. Let's play a little hardball. So I guess my issue, we're looking for a planet. Again, this is in the themes of the movie. We're looking for a planet like Earth, similar enough to Earth that we can send people there to continue our civilization and our species. Is that a fair characterization of a plot line? Of the plot line? Okay. And it turns out there's like a wormhole that can make that happen a little faster. Because otherwise you don't live long enough to travel the distances with the rockets available to hit those destinations. Okay. I'm just thinking, this blight on the crops that was starving everyone on Earth, requiring that we jump ship, literally jump ship, to go find another ship, another spaceship planet. It seems to me that whatever effort it takes to find another Earth, travel through a wormhole, ship a billion, to terraform it, ship a billion people there, whatever that effort is, seems to me to be a bigger effort than just telling the biologists, come up with a serum that can fix the crops. Even today, we have full knowledge of crop genomes. Just fix it. Whatever it is, just go in there, just nip tuck the DNA, fix it. Isn't that cheaper, easier, faster than wormholing your way off this planet? That's where I'm coming from.
Do you think that all problems can be solved by humans with human technology? Time scale. You have such faith. Come on.
So I'm the optimist here.
Okay, so let me describe. This characterizes how this movie was done. So when it was Jonah Nolan, Chris's brother, who came up with the idea that he wanted a blight or something like that. And so we said, okay, we will bring together the best biologists we can, who are experts on these kinds of things, put together mostly Caltech biologists, and we had a dinner, and we brought out very expensive wine for them to drink, and we set up a recording.
In vino veritas. Okay. In truth, there is wine.
And, yes.
In wine, there is truth. Yes.
And so we.
You said you over the side? Just let me know.
About 3 or 4 hours at the Caltech
I feel that.
of the Athenaeum about what
Nice and
would be,
dope.
what would be
Appreciate it.
the
Good
best
morning.
backstory.
Morning.
There are 2 types of blights. There are generalized blights that attack lots of crops, and there
Lots
are
of different species of
lots
crops.
of different species of crops. they are generally fairly benign blights. And then there are blights that are very specific to a particular crop, and they can be very lethal blights that may totally wipe out that species on Earth even. But basically for Earth and life on Earth to survive, you better not have a vicious generalized blight. But according to the biologists that I discussed this with, they didn't know of anything that would prevent the development of a very vicious generalized blight. So that's what occurs in this movie, and it's something that biologists have never seen, but they cannot rule it out.
Okay, so let me repeat what I think you said. They have vicious, lethal blights that attack a species, less lethal, generalized blights that cross species boundaries, and they can't rule out a lethal blight that would cross species.
That's right.
And so that's what's happening.
That's what's happening in the film, and
okay.
And that's what the biologists on Earth in the back. So they're
I'll give you that. Okay.
Okay. So anyway, this film is full of backstories because of the way we did it. As I say again, it's unlike almost any other film, and these issues were like that. Were vetted by the world's best experts in the process of the writing of the screenplay.
Okay.
As we're diving into Kip Thorne's impressive work, one thing is clear. His theories have reshaped our understanding of the universe. So you might think the latest Nobel Prize for Physics would go to someone like Thorne, but it went to computer scientists instead. Their contributions to machine learning is undeniable, but still a surprise for the world of
So you
physics.
so talented.
reports
Appreciate
focus
that.
on the godfather of
Good
AI
morning.
regretting his invention, while
Rich,
others
bye. Appreciate
don't
it.
exactly see the problem.
I'm just that people
In
can do it
moments
all.
like
I'm not
this,
saying
access
this
to
at
diverse
6:24.
perspectives is critical, making ground
Where you
news
tuning in from?
essential.
Good morning.
They're a platform created by a former NASA engineer who saw a bigger problem down here on Earth than up in space. And the way we consume information and how heavily that shapes our worldview.
A black hole planet.
Carter, what up?
Okay.
Fine.
And then they see this
Appreciate
wave
it.
coming.
Okay, it's Miller's planet,
Miller's
which
planet,
has
sorry.
the water planet.
The planet orbiting Gargantua. Gargantua. Okay.
Some people just know they can save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first.
It's gonna get nasty, baby.
Like, you check the weather first before sailing.
All those little Coast Guards.
So check Allstate first for a quote that can save you hundreds. Like a relentless need, moderate to severe ulcerative colitis symptoms can keep coming back. Start to break away from UC with Tremfya.
You said bump that car insurance. Check that right.
Tremfya is a key source.
The strength of tidal forces are
How much is
highly
it?
sensitive to the distance you are to that.
A lot of
which is
money, a
causing
lot of
the
money.
tide. Highly sensitive. Okay.
A lot of
But
money,
every
brother.
illustration I've drawn or taught about tides, they're not so peaky. They're much broader in their representation on a planet. And so there they are, wading in water, but then they see this single wave come, and if it is a single wave, as we've seen with tsunamis, it actually takes water away from what's ahead of it. Because it can't just be water out of nowhere. It's drawing water from its vicinity. So my two issues was, if it's tidal, would it be that peaky? And if it's any kind of wave, how could it still leave the water laying around its vicinity and then just be that big as it came by?
So there is a type of wave called a solitary wave on water that was.
Well, you tell me you brought wave people together and had that lunch. Is that what you can tell me?
No, this particular kind of wave was discovered in the 1700s by, I've forgotten who,
My dude has a fantastic piece of work. How long you been on this?
boat.
I've been working on it about 5 days, couple hours a day.
And it was just starting up.
Damn, it's tough.
And it
Appreciate it.
created this wave that
Appreciate
traveled
it.
down and
Appreciate all the following, man.
a canal. And it was
If y'all get on
like-
Instagram, man, shoot me a follow on Instagram
Interstellar
and
Island.
YouTube.
It was exaggerated.
Hit that little link in my bio. I'm trying to hit 10K on YouTube, 10K on
When it
Instagram.
traveled down the channel, it never
Have a
broke.
question, how you learn how to do that.
Most waves, the
Just
ocean
start.
break. They
Start it
So when you
and
get the
start
picture,
rolling.
we're talking about centuries ago.
Get all the
You see channel,
machines
the
and just
channel or canal,
go.
and then there's a towpath on the
It's
side.
pretty easy.
And then,
This is
and then
gold.
people
Appreciate
and
it.
More likely beasts of
It's
burden.
easy to do, but it just take time to get good.
Themselves don't typically have current.
drag a barge down the
A barge, exactly.
That's what
It
this
just depends on how
barge
much time you
dragged
put
down
into it.
And it was just starting up, and it created this wave that
On the startup.
on the startup, and it just headed out and just took off and went down the channel. And this guy got on his horse and he followed down the channel. And it went down the channel.
I'm curious physicist. Nothing gets by.
I appreciate it.
For I don't know, a mile or two, without changing its shape, without breaking.
Without breaking.
And so the theory of these waves is that there are two different effects that cause a wave to steepen or disperse, and the two can balance each other out in a stable sort of a way.
And give it longer
And
life.
give it long life. And so, aside from the issue of friction, if there were no friction, it would just live forever and keep propagating in a very stable way. There's a mathematics behind it, something called the Korteweg-de Vries equation that this is a solution of. But anyway, these waves then.
So that equation, I presume, has both kinds of waves in equilibrium somehow represented.
The two
as a static
effects,
wave.
the dispersion and the steepening. The steepening is due to nonlinearities. The dispersion is due to the fact that the higher wave, the higher parts of the water travel faster than the lower parts of the water. If you're at the ocean, you see a little tiny wave, it travels quite slowly. You see a big wave, it travels quite fast.
And that's why the crest of the wave will actually break before the rest of the wave
Yeah,
gets
that's
there.
right.
Is that
That's
part
right.
of it?
That's right. That's right. Unless
And Magruder
it's
be
being
amazed.
balanced out.
Man, I don't know, man. Tierra, what's up? I be trying to reach out to him, cause I've done a couple Boondocks projects, man, but I don't know. I don't know if he just not like active on social media or what. Like, I try to reach out to him a couple times. I did some crazy projects. So a couple of like the producers like reposted my shit, and you know, like a couple of them show love, and people that's been on the show love. But it's like, I was trying to get in contact with Aaron, man. I was trying to get like a just tell him like, hey man, sign this, print some shit out, sign it, send it to me. To be honest, I don't know. He has social media. So he got Twitter, but he don't be on it. And I don't know who runs the Boondocks page. I think I forgot his name. Fuck, what's his damn name? The dude who voices Uncle Ruckus. I think he runs it. I don't know. I don't know who runs it. Yeah, I tried. I think he got an Instagram too, but he just haven't posted on it in a long time. A couple years. But yeah. A lot of people around him though. I'm not saying it's not cool.
The two effects balance each other, and to produce this very stable solitary wave.
We'll see.
And so in the movie, for this stable solitary wave, the height of the wave is, and I've forgotten the number, but it's something like 6 times higher than the depth of the water.
Got it.
So there's a problem now in the movie because they're walking around in shallow water, and this wave is high, and so it's got to be deep water.
Okay.
But they're on an island. This is the backstory, and there's always a backstory.
Well, so they're on a subterranean, a subsurface island.
No, you gotta read it in my book. they're on,
Mama, what's up?
they're on an
Salad, what up?
And this wave diffracts around the island. They hardly notice the island at all. So again, it's all explainable, except there is a bit of exaggeration. They
as Hollywood. But what you're saying is this wave might have been caused by some effect other than the tidal forces of the black hole.
Yeah, well, this wave is caused, in fact, by the fact that this time is much slowed on this on this planet. So the planet has been put into the orbit around Gargantua not that long ago, is seen on the planet. Though it's a long, long time ago, seen from far away. And it's like Mercury, like the moon, keeps one face toward Earth, or Mercury keeps one face toward the sun due to tidal effects.
My client review is brutal.
They're gonna be underwater for weeks.
I'm already so pruny.
This is fixable. Just use Grammarly. Grammarly can look through the proposal to find what's missing. And look, Grammarly knows the audience is non-technical, so it can take out the jargon and make the benefits easier to understand.
Cool. And with Grammarly working across 500,000
I see
apps
his
and
email.
websites, we'll never be underwater
Let me take a while for him to hit it back. Oh, he be on his email and shit?
Free.
Oh, you got it off his social.
This planet is distorted by tidal effects and is swinging back and forth. It has not yet settled down to one face toward the planet, and that swinging back and
Oh, you
forth
searched
is
for it?
generating this wave.
Okay.
It's all in the
Appreciate
book.
that.
Weaseled out of another one. Okay.
There's an enormous amount of science in that book.
I must have missed that when I went through the book. And one last point.
You didn't study.
Yeah, because I don't even think like he goes to like
One last point.
the Comic-Con events or none of that. I don't think he goes to none of that stuff. I think he just don't give a fuck no more.
I took
I
our
don't know.
show to Oxford recently.
What's his road price? A lot of money, man. A lot of money.
And at Oxford, I think it was a postdoc. And I did Andrew Mummery, postdoc, and he shows a recent paper he published. I don't know if you've seen it recently, like within the past 18 months. And he's a theoretical physicist. And he alerted me, something I never knew. I love the field, but it's not my active professional field, that in the vicinity of a black hole, there's an innermost orbit, because of course you can orbit any source of gravity, even if it's a black hole, but for black holes in particular, there's an orbit within which the orbit is no longer stable, and it will spiral into the black hole itself. And according to his calculation, to get the time dilation necessary in this scene with the black hole planet, which was huge. Remember, they were on the planet for what, 15 minutes or whatever? How long?
1 hour on the planet is 7 years up at high altitude.
7 years up in their spaceship, okay? And the guy, when they left there, he was like gray and unshaven and everything. And we're like, oh my gosh, there's some serious Einsteinian physics going on here. His calculation showed that for that difference, for that extreme difference in time dilation, requires that planet orbit so close to the black hole that would be on an in the unstable zone. And so I just thought I'd tell you that.
My calculation says otherwise.
And where's his Nobel Prize? The other guys.
The formula is in the book.
In his book.
Yeah, so
we don't have to go to your graduate textbook for that.
Well, not for the answer.
Okay.
If you want to derive the formula, that's a lot of work. So let me tell you the story behind this.
Oh, the story. Okay. Yeah.
So Christopher Nolan says to me one day, he says, I want a hero in Cooper, the hero in this movie.
I'm really fascinated.
Onto
He said money, 2,000.
Cooper played by Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, that's right. Professor Brand's daughter is played by Jessica Chastain. Christopher Nolan says to me, he says, I want in this movie that 1 hour on Miller's planet is 7 years up at very high orbit or back on Earth.
You prescribed that?
Yeah. And I said to him, that's impossible because the planet will fall into the black hole. He said, go do a real calculation. I've already learned that your off-the-cuff reactions can be wrong. and I should not trust you unless you do a real calculation.
There's a good Hollywood producer. Go back and give me the answer I'm looking for.
Well, and so I went back home and I did a real calculation, and I was amazed that the last stable circular orbit, which is what we're talking about, is if the planet spins fast enough, the last circular stable orbit can have as high a redshift, as high a time difference as you might wish. But that requires that this black hole spin extremely close to the maximum possible spin. And so in the book, I give the formula for what is the spin of the black hole that is required to produce a given amount of slowing of time.
I did not know that.
It's fine, appreciate it. It's so dope. Tony, what up? Appreciate the follow. Appreciate the likes, y'all. Gifted, Maya. What's good? Appreciate the follow, y'all.
That's right. And
it's a clean.
That's a clean problem, and that's what I was thinking when I figured out all this. When I knew that if I made the black hole spin, that it would get closer, but I couldn't imagine. I could not imagine that the nature would provide a orbit for a black hole that spins fast enough that they could provide this much of a slowing of time, but it does. At least, unless I made a mathematical error. But I don't think that's likely because I use Mathematica.
Okay, you have tools to help me do this.
To check my calculations.
It's not just an analytic solution.
Well, it is an analytic solution.
But it's very complicated.
It's very complicated. You know?
Okay.
Well, it's a power series solution.
In the end, I think our hero character is inside the black hole. We come to understand this. And he has access to a timeline that wouldn't otherwise be available to him. And he sees his daughter's bookshelf.
Business. It's all day and into the night. And it's why all the businesses that keep this world turning choose advanced solutions and partnership from Comcast Business. Powering more businesses than anyone. Powering possibilities.
I'm boring.
That's right.
You're boring, you're texting. Your boyfriend? No, I'm shopping for a car on Climax.
Oh, a car?
Are you sure you can afford this?
That's a big purchase.
Relax. I got pre-qualified and shopped by my monthly budget, so I know it's a good decision. Like Jenny's new piercing. Get pre-qualified, shop within your budget. CarMax.
He's no longer inside the black hole.
Where is he? What he's doing?
So this is the key thing that's not explicit that you only
This
understand.
looks really
if you read my
good.
book.
Thank you.
You didn't read it well enough.
Busted.
Then, wow, appreciate the follow. I'm trying to get into this too. Where should I start? Start on YouTube. Get on YouTube. Type in Tufting and just look at some videos. I don't really make like tutorial type based videos because they're boring to me. But a lot of people do. So it's a lot of content out there for you to watch. Let's type it in. Yeah, it's like a whole bunch out there for you. Appreciate it. Maya, thank you for the roses. Honey, what's up? I followed you and I hope to see you more often up here. Yeah, I'm always live. All the time. Literally all the time. I just set up. You have another iPhone or iPad? Yeah, I got 3 phones. I got 3 monitors. Yeah, I got a lot of shit up here. So I'm streaming on TikTok and YouTube right now. And then I got another phone right here. This is YouTube. I got TikTok. Then what I'm watching over here. Yep. Got a little bit of everything. A little bit of everything going on. Appreciate the follows, y'all. Blue Love with the follow. I actually need to. I'm trying to make sure they don't kick me out live. Hour and 5 minutes. They love to do that. Let's see, boards. Non-profit. I don't know. Let's see. I need all of that, one of each. This is one rug. It's one thing. Looking good. Appreciate it. We're getting there. We are getting there.
Okay. So when he gets inside the black hole,
if they kick me off live, I'll be right back. Because I don't know. I think they're going to kick me off in the next like 20 minutes. But if they kick me off, I'll be right back. How long did it take? How many spurs you got left? I still got 1, 2, 3. Still got 4. I'm almost done with this one though.
Or spatial dimension.
And that's why in there you saw.
Got 4.
I guess the past and future are all kind of simultaneous.
After I finish this one, I have 3. How long did it take? I've been working on it like 5 days. 5 hours a day, 6 hours a day sometimes. A couple hours each day. Gatewood, Epps, Jones, appreciate the follows.
Christopher Nolan said to me he wanted to take his hero back to Earth, Cooper back to Earth, by a different route than the wormhole, 10 billion light years away from the Earth. How's he going to do it if it doesn't go through a wormhole? He said, well, I want to take you back faster than the speed of light. Of course, I say to Chris,
you're about to be killing for sure.
The laws of physics, he says, go do a real calculation. I said, I don't have to do a real calculation. And so we discussed this for a week, and then he threw in the towel. He said, okay, I believe you. And so what do we do? And so I said, well, you put him, he goes inside the black hole. He gets deposited on the 3-dimensional surface of a 4-dimensional sphere, and this 4-dimensional sphere is a spacecraft that can go into the bulk, into the higher dimension. And it goes out of the black hole, not through the horizon. It can't do that. It goes up
through the 4th dimension.
Up through the 4th space dimension, or what's called the 5th dimension in the movie. This time is the 4th dimension. It goes back to Earth, and the distance back to the Earth is less than the distance between the Earth and the Sun. Even though it's 10 billion light years inside of our universe, up in the bulk, it's a very short distance, and so we can get back very quickly.
This is the higher dimensional space-time in which we are now having this.
So he gets back very quickly, riding on the surface of this 4-dimensional sphere. He said, I like it all entirely, except I'm going to use a 4-dimensional cube instead of a 4-dimensional sphere. That's a tesseract.
Yes.
And so that's what happens. And when you see Cooper out there sort of flailing around at the beginning of the Tesseract scene, he's being carried by the Tesseract back to Earth, but you don't know that's what's happening until you read my book. my agreement between Chris and me. That's the only way anyone's ever gonna know. So anyway, he's carried back to Earth, and then everything is happening when the Tesseract is docked in the higher dimension beside his.
Giving access to his life in that past time.
That's right. So it's docked in his home by
gangster.
in his
That's dope.
daughter's bedroom.
This is really dope. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. I'm trying to multitask.
Beautiful, doesn't it?
Okay, so now he's pushing books off the shelves.
Black Beauty, what's up? What's up? Appreciate the likes, y'all. T-Bone, appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Judgment. He's spelling out
Yep.
words with the first letter of the title of each
Taj,
book. Okay.
Neela,
I have no problems with Tesseract.
T-Bone, Ace,
Worth to mention, 5
appreciate it.
dimensions. How does
Damn,
he know
Lola,
the title
Smith, appreciate the follow, y'all. Sunflower, Chuck Chuck,
I
appreciate
don't
it.
remember that that's how he's actually.
he's pushing books
I
down?
know he's pushing. I know he's pushing it
Pushing
out.
books out from this side,
No.
and all he sees is the other side of the library shelf.
I guess I had forgotten that he was spelling things out based on the first word.
Well, you forgot.
I forgot, or I didn't know, or you're wrong.
So that was one of my ideas to his life in that past time.
Yeah.
That's right. So it's docked in
What up,
his
what up?
home by his daughter's bedroom.
Okay, so now he's pushing books off the shelves that land on the floor, and through some clever cryptographic judgment, he's spelling out words with the first letter of the title of each book. Okay, here's my issue. I have no problem with Tesseract, black hole, fourth dimension, 5 dimension. How does he know the title of each book from the other side of the book?
Well, I don't remember that that's how he's actually.
He's pushing books
No,
down.
I know he's pushing. I know he's pushing it
Pushing books
out.
out from this side,
No.
and all he sees is the other side of the library shelves.
I guess I had forgotten that he was spelling things out based on the first word.
Well, you forgot.
I forgot, or I didn't know, or you're wrong.
So that was one of my. I have an issue there.
That one I don't know.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I don't know.
Okay. So you're 3 for 4.
He probably has a photographic memory.
Remember the other side of the book. What's this I hear that you can use a wormhole to travel backwards in time? Does the
Hey,
math
that's
check
how
out?
look clean.
Einsteinian physics check out? And does that mean I will just show up a younger version of myself and shake my own hand? Is that what you...
Shit, that's how clean. Damn good work. Appreciate it, Ron. Appreciate the follows. Typical. Appreciate all of the shares. I see you. Napoleon, what's up? Crispy Edge. Edged. What it be?
Do you mean by that? Or do
Thank
I
you.
no longer exist in the time that I left for my younger version of myself to see that? And wasn't there... didn't Hawking put forth a time travel prevention conjecture or something? What's going on there?
This is all an outgrowth of my long conversation with Carl Sagan when he was working on the novel for Contact, where he triggered me to start thinking about wormholes. And then, having started to think about wormholes, it became pretty obvious to me rather quickly that if I give my wife, Carolee, one mouth of a wormhole, and she carries it at high speed in a rocket ship out into space and then back, and I keep the other mouth at home. If she sees me age by 50 years back on Earth, well, she ages only 1 year going out and coming back.
Saving money feels right. Just like when things are packed tight inside. Get auto insurance that fits your budget and your needs. Save up to 10% when you bundle auto and renter's insurance. Get a quote today.
Some people just know they can save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first.
Who's ready for my famous charred duck?
Like, you know, to check the mascot first before bringing food to a tailgate. So check Allstate first for a quote that can save you hundreds.
But if we look through
Bro, you
the
just don't miss,
wormhole of
huh?
each other,
What up, Brody? That's what I do, man. That's what I do, brother. Nice work. How much your custom price range? All of it hit me. We'll get you set up. Send you in the right direction. Just DM me on Instagram. What's good? I want to order Cuban. DM me on Instagram. Optimistic. What up? Black Unity. Fire. Priest. Is that Tuperman? Boondocks. Yep. Goddess, what's up? Appreciate the follow. Bear, appreciate the share, big dog. Appreciate that. For sure.
we see each other aging at the same rate. Just imagine we hold hands and we look at each other's wristwatches. It's ticking away at the same rate. But through the wormhole, we've aged at the same rate. We're the same age. But looking outside the wormhole
universe.
She's aged 1 year and I've aged 50 years. Something weird has happened. The wormhole has become a time machine. I just go over and go into her
Said
mouth,
Rich Rises.
come out.
That's called work. Appreciate that.
Herself.
Okay, now Hawking said we're not going to allow this. There's some conjecture yet to be discovered that'll tell you can't do that.
Well, so, we get there. You're going too
I'm
fast.
going too fast. Sorry.
Then I taught friends at the University of Chicago. Physics, it's crucial to talk to friends. They tell you where you're all at. They tell you when you made a mistake. They straighten you out. They pointed out to me that it might be that when the time machine is turned on, it'll self-destruct and basically it's dead. I said, I don't understand. They said, go do a calculation. So I went and did a calculation. And the issue is that they had guessed, and basically, that's oversimplified. Bob Darrow to Robert Wall in Chicago. Anyway, it turns out that at the moment that you can first time travel, the first thing that goes through, it can be vacuum fluctuations of light, say. But then enter her mouth of the wormhole, come out of my mouth and go back, and then arrive back at her mouth at the very moment they started out. Now you have twice as much at the same place in space and time.
So this is a runaway.
So it's a runaway, and so you now have twice as much, and then it goes around again. Now you have 4 times as much. It goes around again. So this runaway builds up.
It's like the feedback between a microphone and a speaker.
Precisely.
It'll just runs away.
It just runs away. It runs away. And this runaway shows up in the quantum mechanical calculation that I did.
You're bumming me out.
Together with Sun-Won Kim, a Korean postdoc of mine.
Okay, I want to be a movie director and say, go home and figure out how to do this. Give me pull another rabbit out of the hat here.
Well, anyway, we discovered this. Stephen, I think, Stephen Hawking, and this student of his, I think, had more or less the same discovery at the same time. Stephen probably just did it all in his head, because that's the way Stephen is. Anyway, so then Stephen and I started corresponding about it. By
Awesome as
email
fuck.
and talking
Appreciate
on the phone
that.
about it.
B, what up? Donald,
Here's
appreciate
to
the follow.
me looking at
Hot, appreciate
the
the
details
follow.
of the calculation that
Good morning, that's cool life. Appreciate
if I
that.
designed the time machine just right, the details
Hot
of the
Rod said this is
explosion
super
would not
fire.
be strong enough to destroy
Bet.
the wormhole.
Appreciate it.
And Stephen then
Much
showed me
appreciated.
that I was wrong. and we argued back and forth.
Where everybody
for a
tuning in from?
while.
Where y'all at?
Agree that the explosion becomes strong enough that quantum gravity enters in and then holds the answer tightly in its grip. And so we won't know whether the time machine constructs until we all understand the laws of quantum gravity.
Let me be on the obscure.
And then we come to the Hawking's censorship conjecture.
That's what it's called.
Yeah, the conjecture that, in fact, in the end, the laws of quantum gravity won't save the day. The wormhole will be destroyed, and any time machine, any advanced civilization makes will be destroyed when they try to turn it on by these vacuum fluctuations, and thereby, as Hawking says, keeping the universe safe for historians of all species.
It reminds me of the ultraviolet catastrophe, where you run the calculations, it's going to blow up. How does this even work?
No.
And then out comes the discovery of the quantum, which saves the day. Right? And this is a calculation waiting for another branch of physics to open up, or another progress in the known branches of physics to resolve.
The Leibniz team has perfected a technique called quantum precision measurement, which is based on manipulating vacuum fluctuation in order to circumvent the uncertainty principle. And so this business of manipulating vacuum fluctuations is something we do in modern physics.
If memory serves, Carl Sagan came up to you and said, for contact, I want to go far distances quickly. How am I going to do it? Can you hook up a wormhole for me?
Carl phoned back in the 80s.
When he's writing the novel.
When he's writing
the novel predated the movie.
That's right.
Break free with the new Opera GX, a browser that puts you in control with a brand.
Are you in Denver with it? Easy. Appreciate the lightning bolts. Fire. Appreciate that. It's looking pretty good so far. Lee, what's up? Beloved one, what's up? How y'all doing?
That he wanted, that he has written, he'd already written the book, the novel. It was already in page proof. And he said, I got this novel, it's in page proof. The publisher's not going to be happy if I change it, but I really need some help to see what the truth is, and then we'll figure out how to deal with it. And he said that I have my heroine traveling through a black hole to get to the star Vega. And I said, that's rather dangerous. There's a singularity in there. There's a singularity in there, and you can't get through and get to the star Vega. But what you actually need is a wormhole. But there is an issue. The wormholes implode. They collapse so quick that nothing can get through. But I'll see if I can figure out how to hold the wormhole open just for you, Carl. And so I was going with
It's like rent a physicist, right? It's like whatever your needs are.
So I was getting in a car that morning to ride with my former wife, our daughter's graduation up in Santa Cruz. And so Linda said, I'll drive and you calculate. So she drove and I calculated and I fiddled around, and then it became fairly obvious. Turns out some other physicists figured this out sooner, but that's the usual thing with me. I figured it out, and then I go see if people know this before or not. So anyway, I figured out that if you had what I like to call exotic matter that repels gravitationally, and you put it inside the throat of a wormhole, that can hold the wormhole open.
It'd be like pushing it
Yeah,
outward.
that's right. It basically repels the walls of the wormhole to hold them open. And it turns out that will do it. But you have to have enough exotic matter to hold the wormhole open. And I deduced a formula for how much you had to have. And it basically says the following. if you move through,
Bond Creations. Appreciate that. I want this in my living room. Duh. Oh, this is Clean Marie. Appreciate that. Awesome. Vibrant. Fran, what's up? I'm Fred. Appreciate the follow.
Record show he's about to describe how to make a wormhole.
no, tell me how much exotic matter you have.
Okay, this sounds like a recipe to me.
So you travel through the wormhole as close to the speed of light as you possibly can. Just close to the speed of light, and you add up all the energy density
Sabrina,
all
appreciate
the
it.
way through the wormhole of stuff that's in the wormhole. The net has to be negative, and then you fill the wormhole open. So it basically means you've got more negative energy than there than positive energy.
And Cook, we have nothing known as exotic matter.
Oh, yes, we do.
What?
Yeah. And so then.
Oh, is this in your basement? What? What do you know? What do you know? Yes, we do. What is our exotic matter that would fulfill this purpose?
So if you.
Should we turn off the camera? Is the government going to show up on your driveway? Okay, go.
Well, I learned about this from Yakov Borisovich Zeldovich in Moscow. Zeldovich was one of the inventors of the Russian hydrogen bomb.
Okay.
And I learned this from him.
All right.
And he was really brilliant. I learned about vacuum fluctuation and how important they can be and how powerful it can be if you can manipulate them. And so if you take a box and you remove everything that can possibly be removed from the box, you're all left.
Good morning. Creations. Appreciate the heart me right now. Is this piece for sale or someone paid already? Nope, and no, it's for me. And me only. How can you purchase? DM me on Instagram. Devo, what's up? Alexis, what's up? Appreciate the follows. That looks very pretty. Thank you. How much for this? Not for sale.
Tiny fluctuations of everything that possibly could have been in the box. So, electric fields, you have fluctuating electric fields, fluctuating magnetic fields, fluctuating protons, electrons, fluctuating neotypes through the crash spice.
So this creates a form of pressure inside the box.
Well, so there's vanishing pressure and not vanishing energy due to renormalization. No, that's a nasty word in physics.
Man, please start selling them.
Energy by
I sell them. I'm not selling this.
and although these fluctuations that are there, you think of them as particles, say particles of
You know what
light,
I'm saying?
flashing in and out of existence randomly.
So why is this not the virtual particles that people speak of?
So it's virtual
It
particles.
is that. Okay, we've spoken about those on our show.
Oh, wait, so you have virtual particles.
In fact,
So you have virtual particles in the vacuum.
popping in and out of existence.
Pumping it up, and you can't stop it, you can't prevent it. However, you can take fluctuations from one region and borrow them and put them in another adjacent region for a little while. Or
Me and me only, period. It's truly priceless. I love the detail. Appreciate it. Yeah, this for my game room. I done sold like the last 3 Boondocks rugs that I wasn't supposed to sell. So the 3 that I got now is for me. Bad, what up? Lawyer, what up? Wait, no, I want 1, 2. Sunshine. If I was to sell it though, this one would be like $2,000, and I got the other one that I got. It's like almost 2.5 times bigger, with like all my favorite characters from Boondocks on there. It's like 15 people on it. That one would be like $4,000. It's like 12 feet. But like I said, I ain't trying to sell nothing. Already done sold everything. And now it's just me. Sunshine, cash. Appreciate the follow, y'all.
If you put an electrically conducting sheet of superconducting metal here,
You feel me? Y'all feel me on that?
that will suppress the fluctuating electric fields parallel to the metal, because they would create an infinite current going in that metal, and that would wipe out the electric field parallel to the metal. So,
Is that an element of the Casimir effect?
yes, that's the Casimir effect.
Because, yeah, where you have two parallel
That's
plates
right.
evacuated between them.
That's right.
And there's a point where they actually feel a whole other force attracting them.
So what that force really is in the region between them, the vacuum fluctuations are suppressed, and so you have negative energy in between. That energy, negative energy, is sucking them together, and they can do work on you if you're holding on to these plates, and they
have to
each
put
other.
energy to resist it.
You put energy in as they go together. They do work on you. The electromagnetic field between two plates in the Casimir effect is exotic.
Okay.
And so
you have this in your basement, is what you're telling me.
I don't have it in my basement. The physicists do this. Let me just say as a side remark, having learned a lot about vacuum fluctuations,
You said I need it. You do other characters or specific ones? The red made me think I was looking at the show. Oh my god, best I've seen on this app. By far, a lot of detail under you. Look, appreciate it. Thank you. I just wanted to that take time and you really got them looking at each other. Looking like each other and looking at. Yeah, it's a lot of work. Facts. Coleman, appreciate the share, hanging out. Appreciate the follow. I trust him with my money. Sarah, Chosen, Miss, appreciate the follow. Yeah, Chosen, just DM me on Instagram. We'll get you taken care of. We'll get you right. How long I've been working on this one? Couple days.
in LIGO, in our gravity wave project,
Oh, we'll get to that.
but I'll just make a remark that the LIGO team has perfected a technique called quantum precision measurement, which is based on manipulating vacuum fluctuation in order to circumvent the uncertainty principle. And so this business of manipulating vacuum fluctuations is something we do in modern physics. And it is something then that you can imagine, you can ask, can a very advanced civilization manipulate vacuum fluctuations adequately in order to make enough exotic matter inside a wormhole to hold the wormhole open?
So how long have you been doing this? I'm gonna download IG just for it. Appreciate it. Bet. I've been doing this about 3 years now.
Deliver explosive blows, judicious juggles, and gravity-defying air combos that you generously reward your creativity. With Mad Dog style, channel Machima's muscle memory to slash and stun scallywags into submission. Deliver precise yet powerful combos with speed, agility, and flair. Dodge and block to land destructive counters. Then bust out a heat action and send them below decks. Still standing? Hold down an attack to shiver their...
That's crazy.
And so I posed this
Yeah, appreciate it.
question to my
Hey,
physicist
appreciate the follow,
colleagues,
y'all.
stimulated by Carl Sagan, him wanting to send his heroin through a black hole. I said, no, use a wormhole. And so we got to hold it open. And so physicist colleagues, please help Carl figure out, can an advanced civilization do this? And the answer is we still don't know. 40 years later now, we still don't know.
Right, well, we're doing magic compared to what anyone thought was possible 50
That's right.
years ago. Certainly the dawn of quantum physics. We're on the centennial of the decade of quantum discovery back in the 1920s.
Well, I was very close friends with Carl Sagan, and I developed close friendship with Christopher Nolan. Chris has a very different background. He knows a lot of science, but he's learned all by browsing the web. And he knows it well enough to ask me hard questions, much as like you do. But he asked them first, so I got the answers now. So he inspired me to ask questions and then I sort of translate to and give to colleagues, because my colleagues are smarter than I am. My role is to pass on interesting questions
for this.
onto a very interesting question going to colleagues that work on.
Good morning, what's up? Music, Platinum, Love, Natalie, D, appreciate the follow, yo.
From major gravitational disturbances in the universe.
Appreciate the
Go
likes.
up and find them. But
If y'all new here, man, click the links in my bio, check out the work, follow me on Instagram. I'm trying to hit 10K on that, and then follow me on YouTube. I'm trying to hit 10K on YouTube. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. I hope y'all having a good morning, man. Hope y'all having a good morning.
Attempted this, right, at the University of Maryland.
Alright,
It was
appreciate
Weber,
it.
I think. What's his first name? Joe Weber, of course. Who had a
Yeah,
cylinder,
we're working,
if
we're
I remember
working.
correctly, where he was trying to measure whether if a gravitational wave washed over it, he could detect a distortion in the shape of the cylinder, I think, was the goal.
When your gravitational wave would drive vibrations of the cylinder, end-to-end vibrations.
Okay.
And so he instrumented it to search for changes in the amplitude and phase of vibrations of the cylinder. The cylinder is at a finite temperature, so it's always vibrating a little bit because it's a finite temperature. And so he instrumented it with what's called piezoelectric transducers that he glued around the middle of the cylinder. That when they were squeezed, they would generate an electrical voltage that he could measure. They're amazing things. This piezoelectric transducer just absolutely makes you squeeze it a tiny, tiny bit, you get a big voltage out. And I mean, Joe Weber was tremendously creative. He was.
And I think he was
I
working
want
on it while I
one.
was at the University of Maryland. I was there in the 80s.
DM me on Instagram. Music, French. What's up? Thomas, appreciate the rose. And thank you for the follow. Scott, what up? Hope you have a blessed day. I'm trying. I hope you do too. Lady Red, Aaron, Hard, appreciate that. Appreciate all the follows. Appreciate the shares. Sabrina Spikes. What up, y'all? What up, though? Where I'm at? I'm in North Carolina. I'm in North Carolina with it. I pressed the wrong damn button. Hold on, my bad. Yeah, I'm in North Carolina with it. That go hard. I appreciate that. Back us a little bit.
I think he was still working on it.
Yeah, that's right. So he began working
How
on
you
it
liking the snow?
in the late 60s,
It's
early
straight.
70s.
I ain't leave the house in like 3 days.
And
I ain't been going to work.
that he was seeing possible evidence for
I
gravitational
don't mess
waves.
with that snow. Well, I don't mess with that
Marketing and
ice.
creative decisions can be hard, but maximizing marketing and creative impact
I
is
do
easy
not rock with the
Authority.
ice.
Smartsheet is built to accelerate marketing strategy.
Let me back this up real quick now.
So are your marketing and creative teams operating at their peak?
Let that
The
rub.
only way science works is one person's result is not a result until somebody else, a competitor, somebody else who uses different wall current, somebody from another country.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that.
Multiple verification.
But on the other hand, Weber, Joe, he
Appreciate that for sure.
He triggered this work. And the approach that he invented for searching for gravitational waves was the dominant approach from then until the 2000s. And a number of other research groups built similar detectors and improved them better and better and better over that period of time. On that model. The model. So I mean, I have enormous respect for what he did.
Sure. Now you
But
decided
the sun coming up
you
too.
and others,
I got the
decided to
sun
look
coming up
differently.
right now.
Well, so Rainer Weiss, Ray, his friends call him, at MIT was the primary inventor of an alternative technique. That it was the technique that ultimately succeeded. He invented that he wrote a technical paper about the technique that identified all of the kinds of noise that you would have to deal with, and it explained how you might deal with them, and did
Sunshine
analysis
Cash.
of how good this detector could be.
Appreciate that.
And he put all of this
There's the recipe.
paper. So
Oh my God.
You do
it was a
customs?
recipe
Yeah.
for how to go forward.
Supreme, what up? Candy, what's up? Appreciate
And
that.
Ray being Ray didn't publish
Yep,
this.
for
Because
sure.
I think he figured you don't publish until you have built one and seen a gravitational wave. So, however, Ray sent copies of this around to all his colleagues, and he put it into quarterly reports of the MIT laboratory in which he worked. And so it is probably the most
Appreciate the follow.
influential non-published paper, certainly that I know of in physics. I mean, it was a tour de force, and it triggered the huge effort
The next generation.
that actually succeeded.
I was fortunate enough to visit because there are two LEGO experiments, one in Louisiana and the other one is in Hanford, Washington. Why do you have two? Because you can't just have one result.
You're looking for an effect that is so small that you wouldn't believe it unless you see it on two independent instruments.
There you go. So you've got these pathways about a kilometer long,
4 kilometers.
4 kilometers long, evacuated. You send a beam of light that is split from a single beam, a laser that's split. It goes these are at 90-degree angles, and they go to the end, they get reflected back. Then you rejoin them, and you want to see if their waves line up. And if they line up, then each direction is identical. You can go home. If they're slightly different, then one of these legs experienced a different encounter with the fabric of the space-time continuum than the other did. That's audacious.
So actually what you want to do is you make them slightly different in the first place, but then, so that means you send your laser light in from this direction, there's a beam splitter where the light gets split in two and going down the two arms. So the laser light goes in like that. There's this beam splitter, so the light gets split in two into one arm.
How long does this take you? It just depends on what it is.
And then it comes back and recombines in the beam splitter. The laser light was coming in from this direction. But when it recombines, a little bit of light goes out in a perpendicular direction. So you have a laser here and you have an output over there. And the output direction is the direction that has a signal. And if the length of one arm is shortened and the length of the other arm is lengthened.
And that would only happen because a gravitational wave washed over that arm.
That's right. Then you get a change in how much light is coming out to the output.
All right, so you're trying to find a chain of
Very talented.
difference.
Thank you.
And if I remember,
Bound, thank you for the follow.
press releases, that is
Rihanna, thank you for the
to
follow.
1/10
Appreciate that, man.
the diameter of a proton.
No, it's equivalent to, it's 10 million times smaller than an atom and 100 times smaller than a proton.
1/100th the diameter of a proton. Meanwhile, all the world is vibrating because everything is at a temperature, and cool it as much as you want, there's still vibrations. And somebody's walking down the street. I remember being on campus there, and I call it a campus, that's what it was. And you can detect cars on the road a mile away. You have to insulate this. That's half the science done for the experiment. She had a Nobel Prize for that.
Well, that's what the Nobel Prize is given for. For that, yeah.
To have successfully isolated the effect you're trying to measure.
So the way I like to describe it is you're bouncing light off these mirrors, and you're looking for a motion of the mirrors that is 10 million times smaller than the atoms of which the mirrors are made. And the atoms in the mirrors themselves are vibrating at a finite temperature. By an amount that's about the same as
Shiva Music.
10 million times
Thanks for the
smaller
follow,
than,
guys.
the atoms, and 10 million times smaller than the vibrations the atoms are undergoing.
So once again, in physics, there's a phenomenon we're trying to measure, but it's kind of buried, and you need a way to get to it. And it seems like half, if not more than half, of the effort is how brilliant is your engineer that you brought onto the task to accomplish this. How good are your tools? It's not just the idea, it's now you gotta make the damn measurement. And it's not obvious. You need very talented people assembled for that.
Like a relentless weed, moderate to severe ulcerative colitis symptoms can keep coming back. Start to break away from UC with Tremfya, with rapid relief at 4 weeks. Tremfya blocks a key source of inflammation. At 1 year, many people experienced remission, and some saw 100% visible healing of their intestinal lining. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and TB. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today.
Some people just know they can save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first.
It's gonna get nasty later.
Like, you knew to check the weather first before sailing.
I'll go tell the Coast Guard.
So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
Absolutely, and so that was the issue, is how good a team can you put together. So when
Braxton, thank you for the follow.
it was Ray Weiss's idea, and I knew roughly how strong the strongest gravitational waves would be. I knew already then that it would be necessary to.
This would be the collision of two black holes.
collision of two black
And you
holes.
can't just summon that up. There has to be real things in the universe that might produce that.
That's right.
You
That's
can't
right.
just
So,
wish for it.
based on what we knew about the universe at the time, I was estimating a wave strength that was roughly correct. And it was at that level that you would have to monitor the motion of these mirrors at 10 million times smaller than the atoms in the mirrors. And I thought to myself, that's crazy. And so in this book, which was published in 1973, we went to press just after Ray Weiss wrote his seminal paper. I had not yet really studied that paper fully, but I just knew that this was crazy, and so it describes in a few words Ray's idea in here, and it says, I think there's an exercise where it says, show why this is not very promising. Just a mild, gentle.
Because it is a textbook, right? You get to
So the students challenged to show
Well,
us.
that would be a very good idea in 1973. But fast forward a half a century.
Right. So it is
1853, flying is not a good idea, right? That's why flying is...
detailed study. Came back and enthusiastic, said, let's go ahead. So Caltech put private money, about $2 million, its own private money to get started.
Every time you feed your pet Hills, you help feed a shelter pet.
Travis, what up?
Them healthy,
My dog's still in the lab.
and more adoptable, changing their life forever.
Yeah.
So they can change
I
yours.
be in here, man. I be in here.
Science did that.
Work goes smoothly when you know the right steps. With Asana, you can coordinate tasks across teams and stay on track, so your team can spend more time celebrating wins. Try it for free at asana.com.
And that inflates about $12 million today. That's private money when nobody else is putting anything in.
No, you're right. That's a very different, very different culture
And
at Caltech,
and
as you
once
described.
that had happened, and we had brought Ron Drever from Scotland to start the experimental effort, then NSF and NSF stood up and took notice. They did their own study of this and came up with the same conclusion. They started funding us and Ray Weiss. And it became a Caltech MIT collaboration.
Let's fast forward to
It's real
2016.
talent. How did I get here?
where
I don't know.
you make your first detection.
I'm glad you're here, though, you know?
You announced it in 16. By the way, I would later learn that when I visited the facility in Louisiana, you already had made the detection. And you'd be happy to know that everyone was completely zip-mouthed about it until it was official. Because I have this huge, like, internet following, right? And people were totally zip-mouthed. I swear I didn't know about it until the press release came.
We were all sworn to secrecy.
Yes. And so the confirmation of a first detection came from the second facility built in Hanford. And at that point, you have a time delay because gravitational waves move at the speed of light, right? So, and Earth is a finite size. And so all that worked out.
Yeah. So it was just 7 milliseconds. Everyone
Time
had a
difference.
second time difference because the waves came up from the south. They entered the Earth around the tip of the Antarctic Peninsula, traveled through the Earth, came up through the Earth in Louisiana first, and in Washington State second, 7 milliseconds later.
This is, and
And then the waves were unaffected by all the matter of the Earth. They couldn't see the difference between Earth and no Earth. And they couldn't see the difference between detector and no detector. They're very hard to do.
We're driving.
So what impresses me greatly is here we have a prediction made by Albert Einstein when in 1916 or 15, whatever. Albert Einstein, in a little known fact, I mean, physicists know this, but I don't think the public knows, Einstein laid out the equations for the stimulated emission of radiation, which is the physical foundation of a laser.
No.
He wrote that down first.
No.
And a laser would take a few decades to actually be built into
Yeah,
the
they were on the
1950s.
street.
And I'm just saying,
Oh,
here's
hey, they were
Einstein
still.
predicting gravitational waves, laying the foundation for a laser, and
Trying to get it done, bro. Trying to get
100
it done.
years later, his gravitational waves are
That's
found.
what I'm saying, man. That shit took a lot of time.
So these are crumbs spilling off his plate.
Einstein was kind of smart.
And lo and behold,
Should take
nobody's
a lot of
surprised the
time,
Nobel
brother.
Prize goes to this project. And you, along with Ray Weiss and Barry Barish, shared the Nobel Prize. What year was that? 2017.
So they apologized to us and they didn't give us in 16 because we didn't announce it until past their deadline for
Well, plus they
nomination.
delay anyway. They never.
They said it obviously. It was obvious the prize was going for this. It was just obvious.
Yeah. Hey, Star Talk fans. I don't know if you know this, but the audio version of the podcast actually posts a week in advance of the video version. And you can get that in Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and most other podcast outlets that are out there. Multiple ways to ingest all that is cosmic on Star Talk. You can't be a general relativity Einstein guy without being a black hole guy. So, forgive me for asking you to retell a story you've probably told 1,000 times, but there's some famous bet you made. Was it with Preskel, some other physicist?
Preskel and Hawking.
And Stephen Hawking. By the way, I was at the University of Texas when Preskel was there. I think he was like a postdoc or something. He was just starting out. That's an old man. I'm an old guy. I'm an old guy.
You're a young kid.
I'm an old man. So you made a bet, and let me see if I can set the table here. A black hole, once we all agree that they exist, we can ask other questions. When you have something outside the black hole and it falls in, what happens to that information that was contained in that object? Is it gone forever, and is that okay? Because information theory was a whole branch of science, shall I call it science, that was rising up at around the same time, and entropy became a buzzword among many. So, what was the bet?
Same, dude. What's up?
And how was it ultimately resolved?
Appreciate that.
The bet was
Jason, what's up?
Stephen Hawking and me on one side, and John Preskel on the other side. It was was over whether or not information does get lost in black holes.
Or are you texting your boyfriend? No, I'm shopping for a car on CarMax.
Oh, a car?
Are you sure you can afford this?
That's a big purchase.
The background of
And why is that so bad?
Okay, so it's bad because
At the same time, and entropy became a
What's up, Jason?
buzzword among many. So, what was the bet, and how was it ultimately resolved?
the bet was between Stephen Hawking and me on one side, John Prescott on the other side. It was over whether or not information does get lost in black holes. The background of
And why is that so bad?
Okay, so it's bad because the fundamental laws of quantum mechanics, as they are
How long did it take? I'm still working on it right now.
Physicists are
Yes, sir.
widely
Most
agreed that quantum physics is fundamental.
I work at a high school. No thanks. It'd be
and
good.
Quantum physics
Yeah, for an
underlies
art
all
class
of
for
physics.
sure. It'd be
It's
cool.
the most successful theory ever put forth
Right. And
of the universe.
And classical physics, where there are not these quantum fluctuations, there are not these probabilities, that arises from quantum physics as an approximation under ordinary everyday circumstances.
There are many people who caricature science, physics in particular, by saying, well, we used to think classical physics was it, but now we discard it in favor of quantum physics. Well, that's not true. No, quantum physics absorbed, as well as relativity, general relativity, absorbing Newtonian gravity. It's not discarded. It's a bigger understanding, a deeper understanding. Okay. Just want to emphasize that. Many people get that confused.
So, quantum physics is normally formulated as almost universally viewed, has built right into it from the very beginning the fact that information cannot be lost. Now, these words, information cannot be lost, are a translation into everyday language, something else, which is not everyday language, which says that the evolution of everything in the universe is unitary. And so those are buzzwords that are not part of the normal lexicon, but I wanted to say that to indicate that there's some very extremely precise version of this, of which information is being lost, is a colloquial way of saying it.
Okay. But it represents a violation of some fundamental tenets of quantum physics.
That's right. Stephen Hawking, back when he was visiting Caltech,
Well, by the way, we interviewed for Star Talk in our archives. Check it out.
in 1974-75, he spent a year in my research group at Caltech. We were very close friends. And during that period, he having discovered something called Hawking radiation, which is a very slow evaporation of a black hole, and emits radiation that slowly evaporates. He then, while he was here, began to look much more deeply at quantum theory and black holes. And he came up with a prediction that information really is lost. And when black holes evaporate, you could form a black hole. If you waited long enough, much longer than the age of the universe for normal black holes, the black hole would evaporate, and all the information that went into the black hole would be gone. The black hole would be gone. We just simply lost the information that no longer is there. And that was complete violation of the normal tenets of quantum mechanics, and yet he was claiming that that was true. He wrote a paper on this with all the technical details, couldn't get it published. Because it was so obvious that it had to be wrong, but nobody could see anything wrong in his calculation. And so he had to fight for more than a year to get it published. If you look at this paper, you see the submission date.
That's all research papers give you.
They give you a submission date, and then you usually have a revised date, and then it's published. There's no revised date. There's a submission date, and the publication date is like nearly a year and a half later. he fought for a whole year, more than a year, to get this thing published. And physicists struggled with this ever since. Those of us whose roots are in relativity tended to believe Hawking. And those of us whose roots were in, who grew up with quantum mechanics instead of relativity first, those of us who were enamored of relativity tended to believe Hawking. And so Hawking and I made this bet with Preskel, whose roots were in quantum physics.
He's the junior of you both, right?
He's the junior
young
of us
whippersnapper
both.
coming up.
He is now the Richard P. Feynman Professor of Theoretical Physics at Caltech. I'm the Richard P. Feynman Professor of Theoretical Physics Emeritus.
Emeritus, okay. Young whippersnappers. Oh man, don't take your job.
So I just turned the chair over to John. I mean, John is brilliant. He's a hell of a lot smarter than I am. A hell of a lot smarter. Anyway, so we made this bet. And this was in a period when Hawking was starting to visit Caltech for typically 3 to 6 weeks every year.
Was he yet wheelchair bound?
Oh yeah, he was wheelchair bound going way back to about 1970.
Okay.
And this is 1990.
Oh, which
So
one?
this is we made the bet around 1990. Too many smart people there.
From the roof all the way to the ground, Butterfly is testing and innovating ways to have our warehouse run efficiently while powered by renewable resources. On the roof of our 60,000 square foot building, we have installed solar panels. These panels utilize the Connecticut sunshine to generate the energy needed to keep our building running. Solar covers approximately half the roof, and we have plans to expand that coverage to help power 10 to 20 electrical vehicle chargers for our forklifts and other vehicles. Below those panels, our R50, R60 insulated roof minimizes energy consumption by helping keep warm air in during the winter and out during the summer. Several layers of material.
I'm smart enough to pick really important problems that I can solve that nobody else is working on, and they'll only figure out later that I'm right, that those problems are important. But I won't touch a problem wherever
There's other people in the room.
There's too many smart
people in the room.
So anyway, so they have now agreed that information is not lost.
So Hawking conceded, and by association with you, or are you still a holdout on that?
I'm still a holdout.
Okay. And what led to this concession, if I understand correctly?
And so Stephen, together with a student, was working on a idea for how the information might be recovered. And he basically said that in quantum physics, if you form a black hole and then it evaporates, there's a tinier probability that the black hole never formed in the first place. The information seeps out through the root where it didn't form in the first place. And
I'm sorry, that sounds like a